Hello and welcome to the Jank Tank, a weekly series where I build questionable decks and throw them against a constructed ladder. This week I have a special deck because I did not design the combo for this deck. A friend told me about it and it was so incredible that I decided to put it aside and pull it out for a rainy weekend. So, this is a bad deck, but it's great. So the thing that's going to go on here is we are playing Emergency Powers. Emergency Powers is a 7-mana spell, and it causes each player to shuffle their hand and graveyard into the library, then draw 7 cards and you exile Emergency Powers. So this is going to give both players a new hand of cards, but hopefully we win the turn that we cast Emergency Powers. But I've used it to do some digging too. It is what it is. This is a lot of mana. So Addendum, if you cast this during your main phase, you can put a permanent with 7 mana or less converted mana cost into play. We're not really going to worry about that because I'm not going to use that too often. Unfortunately, if you copy Emergency Powers, you are not casting it during your main phase, so even if you are in your main phase, copying it does not give you the permanent. And therefore, the way this deck is built, I don't actually put that card into play. Yes, this is an Emergency Powers deck that doesn't really care about putting a 7-mana permanent into play. It wants to draw 7 cards, and more importantly, it wants our opponent to draw 7 cards, because we are playing it with Smothering Tithe. This is a 4-mana enchantment. When an opponent draws a card, they can pay 2. If they don't, I get a mana. So, when you play Emergency Powers with Smothering Tithe in play, they have to pay 14 mana, or you get some extra mana. If they're tapped out, you get your 7 mana back from Emergency Powers. You get 7 treasure tokens, and that's enough to play another Emergency Powers, for example, which we might do. The other piece to this combo is Thousand Year Storm, because we're bad people. So Thousand Year Storm, when you cast an instant or sorcery, copy it for every instant or sorcery you've already played this turn. So that means if I cast something small before I cast Emergency Powers, we're getting 2 Emergency Powers, and each player is drawing 14 cards, which is going to get us 14 mana, because surely they don't have 28 mana to spend on not giving us mana. So, I want to get Smothering Tithe, Thousand Year Storm, and Emergency Powers into play. This will let me draw a hand of 7 cards and get 14 plus mana, from which I can continue casting spells. If I draw another Emergency Powers, then I can cast that and keep going. And seeing 7 cards is pretty high. So since we're continuing to go, we're going to continue building up our storm count for Thousand Year Storm. After a couple iterations of this cycle, we'll be able to cast a Bone Crusher Giant for 2 damage, and copy it, hopefully 10 times, to deal 20 damage to my opponent. Or we could cast Jeskai Ultimatum, Inspired Ultimatum, to deal 5 damage for every spell that we've drawn. We might end up doing this. This is pretty good to cast when you have like 40 treasure tokens lying around. Now, if you recall, Emergency Powers shuffles itself away. Or it doesn't shuffle itself away, it exiles itself and shuffles everything in your discard into your deck. We don't want it to be exiled, because then we can't redraw it with Emergency Powers. If we keep it in our deck, then our odds of being able to Emergency Powers infinitely is higher. Therefore, as a backup to Thousand Year Storm, I'm playing Narset's Reversal. Copy target instant or sorcery spell, and then you can put it back into its hand. So, I play Emergency Powers for 7 mana, and then I play Narset's Reversal to copy the Emergency Powers and put Emergency Powers back in my hand. This will increase our storm count and do the Emergency Powers. And if I've got a Smothering Tithe in play, then we're still getting the mana to continue our turn. Now, like I said, if you copy it, then you are not casting the copy, so we won't be able to put a Thousand Year Storm into play from our new hand. That's just too bad. We also have Lutri to help copy Emergency Powers. It doesn't put the powers back into our hand, so it's still going to get exiled. But it is another backup copy a spell thing. And then we've got Anticipate to help dig for our cards, because we do need a combo here. Smothering Tithe and Thousand Year Storm are pretty important. And then finally, Fate of Wishes. We have 3 Smothering Tithe and 3 Thousand Year Storm, because I've got a 4th copy in our sideboard, and I'll go over the whole sideboard momentarily. But Fate of Wishes is basically helping us play 7 copies of Smothering Tithe and 7 copies of Thousand Year Storm. It's slow, but we're running Shatter the Sky. So hopefully we can just kind of stall them out and buy enough time to do so. Like I said, this deck's a little bad, so it's iffy, but this is the pieces that will do what we want to do, and when it works, it's great. Lutri can also copy Bonecrusher Giant for extra shocks or depose. This will tap down some creatures and draw some cards. Lutri plus Anticipate's pretty solid. Digs for 2 cards, either of which could be our combo pieces. And then Fae of Wishes, finally, once we've got 1,000,000 mana, we can Fae of Wishes for shock if we just need a burn spell. This can kill our opponent if we got a big 1,000-year storm count. We've got Keep Safe if we're playing against opponents that are removing our enchantments. I've said it for a couple weeks now since the set came out that enchantments are pretty important to be able to destroy. And it seems like from the games I've played and testing this, people are doing so. I've had a lot of my permanents destroyed, regrettably, but it is what it is. I still wouldn't main deck Keep Safe, but if you are worried about it, you can go and get Keep Safe. I don't know if that'll ever come up compared to the other options, but it is there. Teferi's in the sideboard in case you're playing against a control-heavy deck. If you can resolve a Fae of Wishes and then resolve a Teferi, then they can't counter. Seems like a bit of a stretch to me, but he's an option. Mostly Fae of Wishes is there to get Smothering Tithe and 1,000-Year Storm. I've got a Storm's Wrath on the sideboard as well, just as a one-of if I need another board wipe. I've got an Inspired Ultimatum as another kill spell. I didn't want to run 3, but I put it in the sideboard in case. Just in case. And then I put a Plains Island Mountain, because you never know when you need to land. There's probably some other options that'll help this deck function, but I haven't figured out what it would be to fish up. Probably like an Ugin. Just a big 7-mana Planeswalker sort of thing. Be good. Ugin would go well in this deck too, put it in play with emergency powers, but that's not what we're trying to do. Tossed Castle Ardenvale and Vantress in, however the mana base is pretty shaky, so I don't get to trigger them that often, but it's a combo deck, so we might as well throw them in. Like they're coming in untapped most of the time, so it's fine. Triome's Fabled Passage. I like the Fabled Passage because it pulls lands out of your deck and therefore won't be drawn with emergency powers. I would run Evolving Wilds as well, but I don't like the extra it comes in tapped. This deck's far enough behind as it is. It doesn't need to be a turn too slow. Alright, well, that is the deck. Again, the game plan is to stall out with early game Bonecrusher Giants, Depose, and to Shatter the Sky. Just try and keep the board a little manageable. Resolve Smothering Tithe, then 1,000-Year Storm. Then hopefully they'll have given us some tokens with the Smothering Tithe that we can go Anticipate, Emergency Powers. Something like that. Or Narset's Reversal, Emergency Powers. And that'll build up a Storm count so that future Emergency Powers will deal extra damage. I mean, if you just get Narset's Reversal, Emergency Powers, and then Jeskai Ultimatum, it's pretty much done. That's 15 damage and you've drawn a handful of cards. So, it is good times. Just a little side story while we jump into the first match. Credit to my friend who built this deck. He did not build it like this. He built it such that he could take infinite combat steps. But he played a fog effect so that his combat damage wouldn't kill the opponent. And instead he played a creature that pumped itself. I believe it doubled itself every combat step. And therefore he got a creature that was just doubling in power infinite times before he finally flung it. Which is really the best way to live. This is a good hand. We're not going to be here all day trying to make this work. I just want to cast Bonecrusher Giant 10 times at my opponent. Or 50 ultimatums would be good too. Alright, so I'm going to do this so I can Anticipate or Bonecrusher Giant, whatever my opponent does. And then I'll just play Ragra and Triome on turn 3. I don't have any turn 3 plays I need to make. Okay, well, we'll Anticipate. Looks like we're playing against a tokeny deck. This guy could be a little bit of a problem. So I've got 4 mana. Shatter the Sky is probably a safe bet. Yeah, we'll take Shatter. If he's gonna go wide with tokens, then we'll want to be able to just put an end to that. I still need 1,000-Year Storm, but other than that, we're pretty much set up to go. The problem with playing against a green-white deck like this is they have ample enchantment removal. Usually this sort of thing plays like the Knight of Autumn, which is a great card. Johnny, alright. Oh, it's a Felidar deck. Okay. Alright. We're gonna end up taking a pretty big hit at some point while we wait for a good time to...
If I have to light the way, I will.
Okay. I definitely want the land here. I don't know if I want a mountain or swamp though, or a mountain or island. I think I want the mountain because I do need 3 red to cast Jeskai Ultimatum. Sweet, we're good on land. So we'll play Fabled Passage and get a Plains out. And I'll play Smothering Tithe. He'll either have removal or he won't. We might just get some free mana. Alright, we got some free mana. Seems good. He's going to go wide and make some tokens. Let's counter on each of these things. Alright, this is looking good. I mean, terrifying over here, but Shatter the Sky is going to get us where we want to be. And since you drew a card, we got a free mana. Nice. I mean, I'm just going to Bone Crush the Ajani, I'm 99% sure. I don't really care about his life, though. Let's see if he plays like an Ajani's Pride Mate that I want to Bone Crusher instead. Alright, he is giving us all the mana. Mara... okay. Let's just go ahead and Bone Crusher Amara. And we could have spent these 2 tokens here killing Ajani as well, but I like having the mana here.
The benefits of peace?
That seems pretty good. Let's go ahead and... I'm just gonna Bone Crusher Giant for now. I'm gonna wait for a GC target for Inspired Ultimatum, maybe. Maybe I'm being greedy. If he gives us too many tokens, though, we might be able to... No. I was gonna say, we might be able to copy with Narset, but that doesn't work like that. Prison Realm. Alright. Goodbye. That.
Now do you see the benefits?
Okay, well, let's just go ahead and kill Ajani. Target ourselves to gain life. It's a lot of card draw. Feels good.
Humility brings perspective. I shall return.
Let's get another mountain, I think. Alright, and then we got a discard. We don't need 2 emergency powers. Oh, we don't need 3 emergency powers. So I think next turn we will just straight up cast emergency powers and hope to get that 1,000-Year Storm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We could Narset's removal or reversal the emergency powers too. It would cost one of our treasures. He does not want to give it to. Okay. Gonna make a bunch of 1/1s. It's fine with me. So Shatter the Sky is obviously safe here, but I feel like we can do better. Alright, let's just go with the safe. I probably should have just played this Depose earlier, but we can Castle Vantress. Alright, he's paying his mana now. Yep, that's fine. Castle Vantress or Depose? Let's just go ahead and Depose. Anticipate. We'll cast Anticipate. We get a 1,000-Year Storm. Fae. Alright. Getting there. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 mana on the board is enough for us to emergency powers and Narset's reversal. Or if I can anticipate, we can do that instead. I think we're almost ready to get punched in the face for 4. Okay, so yeah, we'll go reversal. So I'm going to turn on full control so that I guaranteed have the option to do this. We'll copy it. That'll copy it, and I guess we'll just yeah, I don't think it makes a difference. All right. So we get a bunch of mana, put all these triggers on the stack, they can't pay any of them, so we get all our mana back. And we can 7 over here. Oh. Really not do a whole lot, actually. I don't think this is enough. Oh, I didn't count. Alright. Alright, so I've got 3 mana left. I guess we might as well just Bone Crusher. Oops. One of these cards. It's a little embarrassing that we didn't manage to go off. Alright, so it's... It's a lot of cards. I should just go down the row. I don't know what I kept. It's too hard to read. This looks good. 2 Anticipates and a Bone Crusher. We didn't draw any any emergency powers in all of that.
Belongs in a place that they can call home. Our true strength lies in our friendships.
Alright, so we need to cast 6 spells in order to get Bone Crusher up to Weevil. The 6th being Bone Crusher. Oh, that's our only land left that we can get with that. So I'm going to play Shadow the Sky. Seven, 8. We have 8 mana left. I get 2 Anticipates, and I want... Sure. Lutri. Okay. I don't think that's good enough. This is my third spell. Fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's just not enough. There we go, I got emergency powers. Next turn we can do it, if we, yeah. Anticipate, and we'll do a reversal. And we'll just stomp them as much as we can. So close. Alright, well, let's get rid of Depose Deploy and Smothering Tithe. I might end up wanting that Smothering Tithe, actually, if he has any sort of enchantment removal. Haven't seen it yet, but he could easily be running Banishing Light. Alright, he is just going to go for all of this and hope I don't have damage.
We thrive when we support one another.
Alright, so this is... yeah, pretty simply, we're going to anticipate just for the spell cast. Yeah, I'll take... put that into play, and then we'll just cast emergency powers. And we already know this works. Now we're gonna get 2 emergency powers. I would love to just keep this hand, but we're about to go again. Yeah, let's put that into play. Alright, and now we can Fave Wishes. Ooh. Oh yeah, 14, okay. And we'll get Inspired Ultimatum. We get Shock. Smothering Tithe, I guess. It's a fairy. Storm's Wrath. Alright, I'm actually not gonna... well, let's see who dies first. There's a lot of Inspired Ultimatums. Could know myself at it. He had more life than I had cards. Alright, well that's the deck, everyone. We did the one thing that we really wanted to do, which is just draw a bunch of cards all the time. Our opponent was very accommodating in not destroying our enchantments, so I appreciate that. Thank you, opponent. Let's see, let's get wrecked for the rest of the hour. Yeah, that's the deck. Trying to board wipe, and then play. Turns out Jeskai Ultimatum's a good card. Stabilize the Jeskai Ultimatum, everyone. This is alright. Got the Smothering Tithe that can anticipate for 1,000-Year Storm. Gotta find emergency powers. We'll lead with the Triome. Okay. We'll Just put out a plains and either anticipate or Bone Crusher, depending on what he does. I think red-white, I probably want to save the Bone Crusher for a Legion War Boss. Granite Healer. That's okay. This is a cycling deck, we're in trouble, but it is what it is. I'll take the Fabled Passage. Ooh, Narset's Reversal can buy us a turn with the Zenith Flare. There's the cycling begins. Don't like Flourishing Fox, that's gonna get Bone Crushered. Yeah. Death to Flourishing Fox. Alright, so here's the hilarious play. Go ahead and cycle. Smothering Tithe. All of your mana becomes my mana. Please don't Vanishing Light it. I don't think these decks play Vanishing Light. I think it's safe, but... yep, every time he draws from cycling, I'm going to get a mana. Which is definitely going to help us get it to, on our way to Emergency Powers time. Oh, it's a Yadaro. Interesting. I wonder if he's considering not cycling. Another Smothering Tithe? I feel like another Smothering Tithe's gotta be good. We're just gonna play this, and then draw another Smothering Tithe. Oops, I wasted all of my tokens not activating my Fabled Passage. That feels bad. I feel like I made a pretty bad error with that. I kind of need my mana because he is pushing it a bit. 2 more Yadaro cycles and I'm going to take a huge hit to the face. I got this deposed, so if he doesn't pay his mana, then I can tap down Yadaro so I don't get hit, which is why I felt safe going for the Smothering Tithe. And then, of course, Emergency Powers, and the game's probably ours at that point. Because getting 14 mana with a full hand just kind of guarantees that I'll be able to continue doing things, even without a even without the Thousand Year Storm. Eventually, I'll find one, and I'll just have infinite mana. Everyone's like, "What do I do against Smothering Tithe?" He's got 3 in the bin. He can't possibly Zenith Flare me for very much right now. He could Zenith Flare me for 4. If he cycles 1, doesn't pay, plays a land, doesn't really get him far enough. He can't possibly Yadaro. Well, he could cycle Yadaro twice and give me all the... Yeah, I don't know what he can do. If he cycles Yadaro twice and gets him in play, I'll have gotten 4 extra tokens, and I can just depose it. I mean, I guess he could not cycle until my turn. End of my turn, then I can't Emergency Powers. That gives him an extra turn of mana. But it doesn't look like he's going for that. There's a Yadaro. We're on Yadaro 3. Yadaro 4. Nope. Rescuer. That's pretty good. Alright, we got a land. We're just gonna emergency powers. Do I want to copy it is the question. Or not copy it, but no, I don't think I do. I can spend the reversal right here to not exile emergency powers, but I think I'd rather just save my mana and get a free permanent. I think is better. No, yeah. Well, I'm gonna have a lot of mana. We'll just put it back in my hand. This way, since it's not resolving, the copy is what's exiling itself. That one doesn't get exiled. Alright. Give me 14 mana. I got another emergency powers. Look at that. We're just gonna do that again. Aw, he concedes. Alright, we're 2 for 2-0. This deck's the best. You should all take it to your next tournament in paper so that you have to walk through every interaction with your opponent. This would be kind of a nightmare to play in paper, trying to track how many treasure tokens you have. Oh, sweet. I should build a deck with this. This might be next week's Jank Tank. Create spirits, sack spirits, add mana. I mean, I like mana. Planeswalker Paradise. Alright. No. I need more lands than this. I am going first. I'm gonna mulligan. Yeah, I can deal with this. I'll put the reversal away. It's probably the least important card in the deck. I think you can get away with letting one of your copies of emergency powers get exiled. Oh boy, I wish I had kept that other hand now. Maybe I'll be able to just Storm's Wrath off of this Fae of Fishes. Maybe. I'm considering just casting Fae of Wishes, but I think not. Going first makes Smothering Tithes really good. Fiend Artisan. I think I want Plains here. Maybe Smothering Tithe. Let's hope he's not running green for enchantment removal. Give me that mana. At least he's stuck on lands. He can't afford to pay the Smothering Tithe. This is good news for us. Oh, he can. Alright, we're gonna take 2. I am 1000% okay with this turn of events. There's the 1,000-Year Storm. Man, we're really close to just doing it. I am gonna get... Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's not giving us mana, so Jessica Ultimate is probably not good. We'll just get a Storm's Wrath. So this feels a little bad to me because as soon as he gets mana, he'll be able to start putting stuff into play. Storm's Wrath is not going to give me the card advantage I need to stabilize here. But on the same token, he doesn't have land. So if I Storm's Wrath here, he's just going to give me mana for the rest of the game. So if he wants to get back onto the board, he's going to have to pay the tithe. Or not pay the tithe. It's an interesting play. He knows I have the Storm's Wrath here. I'm not going to anticipate. I would rather save my treasure tokens. Getting a mass of them at the end, or at the towards the end of the game is important, so that you can do emergency powers plus anticipate sort of thing. Oh, I'm gonna discard a card, huh? Okay.
The mask is scary, but underneath, I'm just a normal. Let me pick your
That's a little
brain
unfortunate.
for a minute.
Alright, I'm counting on him giving me a token this turn. I hope he does. If he plays... He did, okay. So we're in combo town now. And since he's got Davriel ticking down on me, I think I'm just going to emergency powers.
I don't think you'll be needing that.
And try and go off that way. If I draw another emergency powers, then we'll have hit Comboville. If I don't, then we could be in a little bit of trouble. But I'll have drawn 7 cards, which is pretty great against Davriel. Alright, land, emergency powers. What do we get? Second 1,000-year storm, I guess. Let's see. So I got a lot of mana. I think I just want to... clear this Bone Crusher out.
It's not abandonment, it's survival.
It's something. We've got a lot of mana, so next turn I can anticipate and hopefully get something. He pays the 2. He doesn't want to give me that 7th token. I think it's too late for that. He's gonna draw a card and give me some tokens. Alright, so I wanted a obviously an emergency powers here. I'm going to cast Anticipate and Narset's Reversal it for maximum anticipation. I guess Lutri is good. I guess. Decline. I don't need more Narset's Resolves. Okay, and now I can anticipate with Lutri. Losing some tokens here, but I think I'm okay. Oh, we did it! We don't have enough mana to cast emergency powers right now, but this is everything that we wanted. All of our dreams came true. Alright, so we'll play a Fabled Passage. Crack it. And we got 5 mana left, so we don't need to do anything else. We could go get 5 cards from our discard pile, or maybe even more. But I think we're just going to end turn, discard some lands. And next turn, I think we're done. We're going to emergency powers, Narset's Reversal the emergency powers. Well, we're going to anticipate, then emergency powers. And Narset's Reversal the emergency powers. Uh-oh. Rankle. Rankle's coming. Okay, it's not at random. I don't care. Hi, Rankle. We're gonna lose a life and draw a card, sack a creature, discards a card. Okay. Storm's Wrath. I actually don't have that much mana. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 12 mana, so that is enough to... just getting my storm count up. Emergency powers. And then we want to put this emergency powers back in my deck so I can keep drawing it. I'm not sure it's that important at this point, but there we go. We're gonna go ahead and stomp with Bone Crusher, I think. That could be wrong. I might want to just leave them in the deck so I can draw them towards the end of the combo, but I suspect this is fine. Yeah. Now we just have to draw one more Bone Crusher Giant or Jessica Ultimatum. Fine. Fine. Emergency powers. Yep, that's still on the stack. Oh. We're gonna have to pay his wishes. Oh, never mind, that's not our hand. Okay, now it looks like we're gonna have to pay his wishes for a Jeskai Ultimatum. With our treasure hoard. Man, this deck needs a dragon. Is there a dragon that can be a finisher? Alright, Inspired Ultimatum. Shock. Keep safe. Teferi. Oh my gosh, our entire sideboard's in our hand. We'll give our very patient opponent a good game before we Inspired Ultimatum. You know what would be pretty great is if we built a self-mill deck with Jace like this instead, and then Jeskai Ultimatum ourselves to death. I think that's worthwhile too. Alright, so this deck has had unexpected success. Let's go again. See if we can keep it up. To be fair, that success was entirely because our opponent got short on lands for the first few turns of the game. If they were playing on curve, that Rankle probably would have decimated us. This is a terrible starting hand. This is not a great starting hand. Let's put that reversal away. I kind of wish this Depose were the addendum spell that returns a creature to its owner's hand and draws a card for 3, but ultimately I felt like the mana cost was too important. It seems good. This seems like some trouble unless we can find a that. I felt like keeping the cantrips and the cheap spells as low as possible so that I get 1000-Year Storm with emergency powers easier was the most important. Alright, so I could run into a Quencher and Negate here. I'm going to go for it. And hold my breath. Alright. So our opponent's got plenty of value from this, but the board's clear and we're going into later turns, so that's nice. Smothering Tithes not going to be great for us this game, though. If it even resolves, this could just be a Simic, it's not the Simic thing. The Frilled Mystic. Man, we need some red mana. Let's see how much value we can get. He's got a lot of mana. He's been ramping pretty well, so I suspect that he is not going to have a problem paying the Smothering Tithe. We're 2 mountains away from doing the thing, though. Maybe even less than that if we get some treasures. Oh, we got a treasure. Suspicious Starix. Alright. Let's see what he gets. Not another Starix. Now my question is, do I depose this right now and take a, or take 6 to the face? I think I want to keep the treasure token. Got a Dreamtail Heron. Next turn I want to play Thousand Year Storm, though. Which I won't be able to do if I sack my token and don't draw a land. But if I do play Thousand Year Storm next turn, then he's going to hit me for another 9, so I don't think I can afford to do that. I think I better just hope I get a mountain here. That's not really a mountain. Neither is that. It is something that can turn into a mountain, though. So I guess that's what we're doing. Mountain or board wipe. I don't know. I think I didn't put another... Yeah, I don't have a board wipe that can actually solve this. So... we will get that mountain. And I'll play the Fave Wishes rather than Anticipate, because if he draws a bunch of cards and doesn't pay the tithe here, then we can... No, that's not right. Yeah, I can still save the Anticipate to go with Emergency Powers, so he just double starts. He did. Alright, guess we're probably anticipating next turn for Wrath. Yep, definitely anticipating for a Wrath, and hope he doesn't have a counter spell. He gave me a token, though. Oh, we don't even have to anticipate for it. It's like it's our birthday. Except for the part where this gets quenched. Well, it resolves. We might get there again. Still got a ways to go. I've still got to play the Thousand Year Storm. And then Emergency Powers, but... looks like he's paying the tithe this turn. So that's probably going to be a Starix, just hardcast Starix. I gained life. Oh no. Oh, and nothing. I suspect Frilled Mystic. Yeah, let's go for it. This deck has a hard time with counter spells. It's kind of unavoidable. But we didn't, so... Pouncing Shore Shark. Hate to say it, but I think we're gonna get there. Again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He needs... yeah. Okay, we're not going to be able to anticipate into it. 6, 7... Oh, unless we draw a land. We could draw a land. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to be a little greedy here. I want to anticipate into a land into Emergency Powers. If I don't get a land here... oh. Alright, well, we're just going to take another 4. I think I need to save this Depose instead of casting it right here, because I want to cast this as my Storm count for Emergency Powers. Is I think how this is going to work. Close to Recluse. Okay. Sea Dash or Octopus could mutate right now, but it only put it up to 8. I think I'm okay. We didn't die. He drew a card. Is he gonna give me a mana? Uh-oh. That means he's got something he wants to play. Oh, there's nothing I can do about that. Nice. Let's see which one he goes for. Smothering Tithe or the other 1,000 Year. Alright. I can work with that. It has trample now too, so that's important. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, we're just gonna emergency powers and Narset's reversal it, I think. Alright, we got another emergency powers. As well as a land. I think maybe the Narset's reversal is not correct because I need to try and find a 1,000 Year Storm to put into play. I'll put in a land. I think I'm just going to shatter this guy here. And Fae of Wishes next turn for a 1,000 Year Storm. Yeah, so that's my plan, is next turn I'll cast Fae of Wishes, 1,000 Year Storms, that's 4, 10 mana total, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, plus 7 for emergency powers. That should get me 1,000 Year Storm active and 2 emergency powers. Oh, he's gonna Gem Razor. I could just emergency powers right now. I don't think that's good. No, I'll just wait. Okay, so I could anticipate for a 1,000 Year Storm sort of deal. What are the odds if I shatter the sky again that he'll be able to just get his stuff back? I guess shatter the sky is what we're going with. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, so I'll be... Yeah, I think I'm gonna get Smothering Tithe. Because I need that mana source. Alright, we're gonna shatter. And that's eating into our mana token supply, so I'm hoping he can't get rid of the Smothering Tithe, or else I'll be in trouble. He's drawing a lot of cards though, so he probably can. I think we may have just lost with those that Gem Razor. He goes for a Starix. This may be our opening. Gross. I mean, he can still Gem Razor. Oh, he would Star X before Gem Razoring. That makes sense, but he didn't. Okay, so we still can't. All right, so I could get the 1,000-Year Storm. This is a lot of mana, so it'd be 2, 4, 8. Yeah, we don't have the mana to do that. I think I've just got to Emergency Powers and look for one. We're completely dead this turn if we don't cast a Shatter the Sky or win. Ooh. Spicy. Alright, I need a 1,000-Year Storm. I got 1 permanent. Don't want the Lutri. Did get a Smothering Tithe. I could just Inspired Ultimatum twice with Lutri. I've got 12, 14, 17 mana. Odds of finding a, yeah, that's definitely the play. We're just going to go to his face. Oh. I know how this game works. And copy it with Lutri. And I need Shatter the Sky. Did not get it. Oh, I can cast Emergency Powers. I guess we're doing that. Okay, so the stacks of the tokens is, okay, per stack. Oh, we did not get there at all. Okay, never mind, we got there. We didn't win in any way. We didn't lose. Bad. No, I need this. God, this gotta be a really frustrating deck to play against. Gem Razor. I'll take these tokens. I need to remember to activate my Fabled Passage. I had a lot more faith in those Jeskai ultimatums than apparently it deserved. Hitting the, having to hit Emergency Powers to give him the full hand again was pretty much just the worst. I really needed to just get a Shatter the Sky without it. Thousand-Year Storm, it's not good, but it's part of what I need. Ugh. Alright, so if I do this, I'm going to have 2, 5, 7 mana left, 8, 9. Odds that this guy kills me next turn, pretty good. Pumps this up to a 6 with the Starix, then I lose 6, 7, and then mutates. Yeah, I think just a Starix kills me there, so that's probably lethal. I mean, I guess it does have Trample and Death Touch. Gross. I mean, I guess I can shatter this guy. I can play this. Yeah, I know. You destroyed all my stuff. Give me a minute to figure out how to kill you. And I tapped my mana inappropriately, so I lost all my tokens. Alright. Again, not dead, but if he has a Gem Razor, we're not making any progress. He does. Ugh, Gem Razor. I still don't think Gem Razor is a great card, but it's definitely killing me here. So I can do this to put it back in my hand and keep the ultimatum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'd rather... Yeah, I'll just pick up the ultimatum anyways. We're going to try another Smothering Tithe. Throw the Fabled Passage. See if we actually get a land. I think I still got Plains. Nope. Plains in my hand. Guess I might as well play both of them. This is a heck of a final game. This deck has more fight in it than I really anticipated. I was wondering if he ran Dirge Bat. I hadn't seen any until now, but I hadn't been watching his discard pile. Yeah, that's fine. I don't need my favorite wishes. Give me that card. Got the mana. Not Gem Razor. Not Gem Razor. Okay. Alright, so I don't really have a lot great going on. I guess we're just going to Narset's Reversal, our ultimatum. There's 1,000-Year Storm. He doesn't seem to have Gem Razor, so I'm going to go ahead and run it out. And if even if he kills it, I've got another. This, I think, is the cycle, right? Yeah. Alright, so what do we discard? That, and one of our 2 anticipates. I think it's the safest bet. Alright. We're set up. We just need him not to destroy us. again. Alright, so we got the Star X. Sea Dasher. I mean, I guess we're not really set up because I don't have emergency powers. Let's see if I can find one. I'm just building up a storm count for this Inspired Ultimatum. I'm pretty sure he's dead now. Cast Narset, Bone Crusher, Anticipate. I'm gonna do another... Yeah, alright, that's enough to kill him. We just have to do the Inspired Ultimatum now. Alright. Apparently we have accidentally unleashed our most powerful form. I expected the complete opposite of this from this deck. So I guess we just got lucky in our matchups that people weren't running enough counter spells to really just tank us. Sorry that took so long, man. I do feel a little bad. This is a very frustrating deck to play against, I think. But kind of hilarious, too. Alright, I'm gonna go back to the deck. I actually don't have any, like, modifications that I would suggest for this, because we actually put most of them in the sideboard already. Just one card that I think I did overlook that probably would be good would be Expansion. It's not going to copy a lot of great things for us. That's not really what I want it for. But I probably would put it in place of Narset's Reversal, I think. But this is probably worth adding one to the sideboard, just because Explosion, if you have a lot of mana but not Thousand Year Storm, Explosion will actually just kill them too. So if you're sitting on like double Smothering Tithe and no Thousand Year Storm, just because that's how the cards went, then you can still kill them with an Explosion. So I would toss that in the sideboard. Lutri is okay. He might be worth taking out for something better. It's just another copy effect. I don't know, this is a weird deck to me. I kind of want another Storm's Wrath in here too. Just for a little bit more board sweeping, because that's really what we need, is at the 4 mana mark, just kill everything. One creature, doesn't matter, Storm's Wrath it. That sort of thing. And Storm's Wrath helps clear Planeswalkers too, which are a nuisance for this deck. So, yeah, I'll probably shoehorn one actual main deck Storm's Wrath in here. I don't know. Seemed okay, though. I guess play it and see if there's any sort of, like, sideboardy meta hate things that you need to put in, like Cerulean Drake style specific color hate. I feel like it's got enough early game to try and deal with aggressive red. Like, Fae of Wishes comes down as a 1/4 on turn 2 just to get in their way. Bone Crusher starts killing stuff, and after that you try and Shatter the Sky them. Which is another good reason to put more Storm's Wrath in, is just having that against very quick aggro decks that we didn't see today would be a smart call. But yeah, that's the deck. We had a surprising success with it. I think next week I'll be back with something around one of those legendaries that came in. The special legendary creatures that we got from that reward that weren't in the main set. Spirit Token one. Yeah, Kaikar. I'll look at those and see if there's something fun to build with those. And I'll be back next week. I expect to draft again in the middle of the weekish next time. So we'll see you then.